Now, I don't know how people in the United States felt at the time, but here in Eastern Europe, especially after communism, we looked at the United States system as a benchmark, as the way everything else should run. The idea that America had freedom and they respected human rights and their government would never spy on people, that was something that most Eastern Europeans believed. Like the concept that the government would actually listen in on people's private conversation was something that we believed only the communists or Nazis would do. Like America was a free and just society. But as evidence comes out that this may not be the case with a couple of things posted on WikiLeaks, turns out that America wasn't as pure and innocent as the media and culture was trying to portray. Turns out that the US military was conducting itself in specific manners that were abhorrent. It turns out that, well, actually, the US government does listen in on people. And it was getting to the point that they were even open about it with the Patriot Act. And the hilarious thing is that the US government was saying, hey, if you got nothing to hide, you got nothing to fear, am I right? So I guess like some individuals of the United States went like, okay, well, if the government has nothing to hide, it has nothing to fear. And it turns out that the government wasn't really afraid, it was just really pissed off. Like, pictures of an Apache helicopter mowing down civilians, this is really great for the cameras. Like, that's something that the government would have liked it if it remained hidden. So, yeah, they weren't afraid, they were really angry about it. You see, like there's no institution on top of the government to punish the government for misdeeds. So it's like the government investigates itself and finds out that this guy should be punished, which is Julian Assange. Now, it's interesting because, Julian Assange doesn't actually get in trouble for the WikiLeaks stuff first. It's just like two women come out in Sweden, at the time an incredibly feminist country, and they accuse him of sexual misconduct. Now, Assange probably realized, okay, well, if I get detained in Sweden, they're probably going to extradite me to the United States. So what he went to the Ecuadorian embassy in London, where he got asylum. Now, I gotta point out that his life at this stage is not as great as most would imagine. I mean, sure, he is not in an actual prison, he's in an embassy, but when you look at the lifestyle that he was having within that embassy, chances are it may have been just like prison. At least it would be very comparable to house arrest, but a little bit worse than that because you're not really into your own house. So what I mean by this is that he only had access to a very small room, and he only had one computer, a lamp, a cat, a bed, and that's it. And of course, you can't really feel that you're in your own house because you're in an embassy. So like, you're still having to deal with staff, you're still having to behave in a certain manner. Now, at this point in time, he gets a lot of visits from important people, a lot of celebrities like Lady Gaga, Pamela Anderson. He's getting a lot of supporters. Like, there's people on the left and people on the right that are cheering for him because, yeah, I mean, the government did instill the mentality into people that, hey, you got nothing to hide, you got nothing to fear, so why is the government so upset? Now, things are going to take a turn for the worse for Julian when the Ecuadorian government has a shift. President Moreno manages to win the elections, and you get to see in the press that Moreno is very unhappy with Assange, throwing some bizarre accusations at him, saying that he doesn't clean the bathroom, that he doesn't take care of his cat, that he is being rude to the staff members. And at this point, I gotta say, it's likely that it could have happened. I mean, if you take a person and you make them live in the same room for a couple of years, and again, like, it's not really his own house, like, he can't just walk around in underwear because, he's in an embassy. I do think, like, that may have some sort of mental toil on the person, and again, you also add the stress that at any point they can get arrested and sent to a prison. So it's entirely possible that some of these accusations had merit, but the question is, was the president of Ecuador actually upset with Assange, or was this due to pressure from the international community? Like, both of these things don't have to be mutually exclusive, but a lot of people were basically thinking that the US is pressuring Ecuador, especially with the change of government and the new president wanting to have better relations with the US. Then this may be the actual reason on why he got kicked out of the embassy. And everything else is just like reasons for the cameras. It's just like gaslighting the public that, oh well, he doesn't pay his internet. I mean, come on, you're the government of a nation and you're worried about the internet bill. But anyway, that's what happened, and he got kicked out from the embassy, got arrested by the UK police. Now, he was taken into a maximum security prison where he stayed all the way up until now. And from what I know about maximum security prisons, they are hell on earth. Like, there are people in the United States that are still arguing against the death penalty, and the only reason they're probably on that side of the argument is because they do not know what maximum security prisons are like. I mean, there's no comparison. It's far worse. Far, far worse. So imagine that you're placed in a small room and you can't talk to anyone. You're sitting there for 23 hours a day. Again, there's no human contact whatsoever. There's no yard time. There's no cellmates. It's just you in a small room. You do not have a computer. You do not have a cell phone. I don't even know if you have anything to read besides the Bible. And chances are you're not even going to get a TV. Like, that is just for, like, really good behavior. And even if you get a TV, it's only, like, a couple of channels that you can watch. And that is your life from that point forward. You get 1 hour in the yard, and usually that is in a big cage, again, alone by yourself. And you just are allowed to stretch your legs, and that's it. Like, every single day is the same walls, is the same thing. The psychological damage that it does to people is astonishing, right? And you don't even eat out. Like, you still eat in your room. Like, they will bring a tray to you. So, living like that for more than 5 years is unimaginable. Now, whether Assange was placed into such a cell or not, I genuinely don't know, but this is what maximum security prison standard is like. So I don't think that he got placed in a different cell than what I just described. Now, he has been released, and I understand that he spent $500,000 on the plane ticket because the plane has to fly in such a way that it avoids the United States. And this is him going on debt. Like, he's going to have to crowdfund the $500,000 for him being flown out of the United Kingdom. I don't know why it's so expensive. And ironically, maybe it's like a private flight, or maybe they have to add certain levels of security to make sure he is safe. But it does seem like a big fuck you. Like, $500,000 a plane ticket, like, that's just bizarre, to say the least. And he's going to be flown into a place where he's going to meet representatives from the United States. Apparently, he's going to plead guilty to only one charge. And I think, like, that's it. Like, they're going to allow him to be free after that because they're going to consider the time that he spent in prison as time served. And, yeah, I mean, basically people are saying that this looks good on the Biden administration because, like, it takes another thing from Trump's campaign. Since it's possible that Trump would have used this in order to gain more clout with the libertarians. He would say, like, okay, well, if you vote for me, I'm going to pardon him. We just don't know why Trump didn't pardon him in his first time in office. Like, was it like a political move? Like, he wanted to have this card for the second term? Or were there people in the US government that didn't want Assange to be freed? Like, I personally just don't know why. I mean, the danger is just not there anymore, right? Like, the only reason they would hold him is out of spite or to send a message for other people that tried to do what he did. I don't think, like, he's got the connections and the resources anymore to keep doing what he did, and I don't even know if he wants to do what he did after what he experienced. But still, the important thing is that the story is coming to an end. He seems to be freed. And yeah, I expect he may start, like, a social media channel, like a YouTube channel or something, or a website. And we'll see where that goes. But until then, this is the story that I found. Let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.